Hiya guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, as you would have seen by the title, we will be continuing on with our 50 square challenge card deck, which I will be turning into a blanket by the end of this series. But moving along, to start off with, we are starting with the Rashida square, I would assume it's pronounced. Some thoughts on this square. I really like the colours that are shown on the deck itself, and I wish I had colours to match it, but I didn't. As for the construction of this square, I found it quite easy, quite enjoyable. I didn't struggle too much with it. I like the final outcome, but I wish I'd chosen different colours. These two blend in a little too much and you can't see the stitch definition. But that's okay, I've learned that for the future. And with that one done, that wraps up our first square. I'm hoping you can see here what I mean by the colours get lost. Because there's grey in the variegated yarn, I believe that's what caused it to blend in with one another. But moving along, we will be doing the spring square. What a lovely name. So this one was very simple, just a couple of puffs and then lots of double crochets. I decided to not add the green accent for the leaves. I just decided to do that all in one colour. Hindsight, I probably should have. It would have made it look more like a leaf, but I'm not unhappy with how this came out. So just keep watching to have a look. just like that, the spring square is done. This was one of the quickest squares and I am happy with it, although I wish it didn't pop out like I've just shown you here. I like the colours, I like the way it sits, I just wish it didn't pop out like that. I'm sure I could modify it in the future to make it sit better. But moving along, we are now working on the windmills square, and boy, did this one take forever. This is probably the longest square I have done to date, because there are just so many stitches involved in it, and it also didn't have the greatest of instructions on how to do particular parts, but I was able to get there, I was able to get it done. Probably one of my favourites, so check it out. And we have finished the biggest square to date. This one took me about an hour and a half, whereas most of the squares take me about 40 minutes. So that's just an idea on how big that project was. But moving right along, we are working on the sunny side pop square. What a mouthful. I like this square, I really like the texture that's within it. And that's really all I have to say. I didn't have any problems with this square. It all went smoothly. And that brings this square to a close as well. I really like the way the variegators worked with this one. I think they matched really nicely. Moving along, we are up to the middle square, so the 25th square. We're halfway through. Let's go. This square is the Thumbling square, and I did enjoy working on it. It took a little bit of time to work out what I was doing, and there was a lot of stitches which created the ruffle, but that's not a bad thing. It just added texture and used up this yarn. That is another goal. And that is our middle square complete. I am happy with this. I do like the texture, although I went wrong somewhere and I have more frilly bits than the pattern said I should. Do I care? Absolutely not. Moving along, we are working on the Sweet Peach square. This one was fun and quite simple. The pattern was basically just double crochets, which made it fly by super fast, and I'm really happy with it. I do like this one. And that's another square added to the bag. I really like the colours for this one. I think they work together really, really nicely. But moving along, our next square will be the lotus flower, and I really like the pop of purple. That's what I did for my square. The pop of orange that this square shows. I really like it, and I was trying to imitate that pop of colour with my square. you can see here what I tried to do by the pop of purple, the little accent, and I think it came out really well. But moving along, we are working on the rainbow fuff square. That sounds inappropriate, I promise you it's not. Now I love the colours that they used in the original of this, and I wish I was able to match it, but I wasn't, although I am happy with what I was able to make. And that square is also now done. It's not my favourite, it's not my least favourite, it's just another square. This one, however, was fun. This is the X marks the spot square, and I enjoyed the fact it was one colour and I didn't have to change my yarn, but it was also quite an interesting stitch pattern, and I would definitely make this again. Was a lot of fun. I learnt something valuable while making this square, and that is to read your pattern. I thought it stayed the same the whole way up, and then the last row was something different, but no, the last two rows were different, and I just gun-hoed into it. Whoops. Also, the knots in this yarn were such a pain. I spent probably about 10 minutes untangling. But anyway, onto the last square. This is the light and lacy square, and this is probably the quickest square I have made thus far in this series, which was great because I was making it right before I went to work. But anyway, this is the last square for this video, so I hope you enjoy it. As I said before, this was the last square for this video and I really liked the way it came out. It was nice, simple and quick. But anyway, thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye guys!